Dear students, welcome to NRK classes, e-learning for mathematics students. Myself, Captain Dr. N. Ramakrishna, Professor of Mathematics, Mrs. Savian College, Vishakhapatnam. Today, our topic is Lagrange's theorem for finite groups. This is the last topic of second unit in group theory. This is exclusive for second BSc students of third semester. This is also useful for the students who are appearing AP set, PG set, GATE and CSR net, etc. In this video lesson, I will explain some theorems on cosets. The very important one-to-one correspondence between two left cosets of a subgroup H in a group G. I will also explain the Lagrange's theorem for finite groups. What are you waiting for? Let us start our class now. Dear students, before going to entering into our lesson, just we recollect the definition of coset and we recall some theorems on cosets. What is meant by coset? Let H be a subgroup of group G and A is an element of G. Then set AH is equal to set of all AH such that small h belongs to capital H. This is called a left coset of H in G. Now come to the right coset. The set HA is a set of all small HA such that H belongs to capital H. This is called a right coset of H in G. If G is an abelian group, the left coset and right coset are both same. That is AH is equal to BH. What is abelian group? If the group satisfies commutative law with respect to multiplication, A dot B is equal to B dot A. Why? Because here we are using the multiplication is a binary operation. Now we recollect some theorems on cosets. If H is a subgroup of group G and X is an element of G, then we have X belongs to H if and only if XH is equal to H is equal to HX. The second theorem is if H is a subgroup of group G and A and B are two elements in G, then HA is equal to HB if and only if A inverse B belongs to H and AH is equal to BH if and only if A inverse B belongs to H. And the third theorem which we can use in this lesson is if H is a subgroup of group G and A and B are two elements of G, then A belongs to HB if and only HA is equal to HB and A belongs to BH if and only if AH is equal to BH. Now the theorem prove that any two left cosets of subgroup of a group G are either disjoint or identical. The same theorem for a right coset also. So if we take any two cosets, left coset or right coset, then What is its output? Either identical, otherwise they are completely disjoint. Now we'll go and enter into the proof of this theorem. Let G dot be a group and H is a subgroup of group G. So E is the ident element in group G. To proving this, any two cosets are identical or disjoint. So that first we take two cosets. First we'll go for left. Take A and B are any two elements in G. Consider two left cosets of HB, AH and BH. What we are going to prove? We prove that these two cosets are identical or disjoint. Identical means equal. AH is equal to BH. Or disjoint means their intersection is empty. AH intersection BH is equal to empty. So, if these cosets are disjoint, then we have nothing to prove, because we have to prove two conditions, either A or B. If you assume A is true, then there is no way or there is no importance to go for B. Like that, if these cosets are disjoint, then we have nothing to prove. Suppose these two left cosets are not disjoint. Not disjoint means at least it contains only at least one element. Let it be X. X belongs to AH intersection BH. What it means? X belongs to AH and X belongs to BH. Since X belongs to AH, then it is of the form XH is equal to HX. We can make use of the theorem A belongs to BH if and only if AH is equal to BH. Now you can apply the theorem here. XH is equal to AH. Now since X belongs to BH, then XH is equal to BH. Here XH is equal to AH. Here X is equal to BH. So left side sides are equal. Then you can equate right sides. So AH is equal to BH. So what is our conclusion? These two left cosets are identical. So initially what we are taking? The left cosets are disjoint. If they are disjoint, we have nothing to prove. If they are not disjoint, then we proved these two are equal. Therefore, hence, any two left cosets of H and G are either identical or disjoint. Similarly, we can prove that any two right cosets of H and G are either identical or disjoint. Now, we will go for a one-to-one correspondence between two cosets definition. The definition of one-to-one correspondence between two cosets. Any map F maps A to B is a bijection, then we say that there is a one-to-one correspondence between A and B. What is one? One, what is onto? So here bijection means F is both 1 1 onto, then we conclude that F is a bijection. What is 1 1? F of x1 is equal to f of x2 implies x1 is x2. Then we say that F is 1 1. Different elements will have different images. And the onto is range is equal to codomain, or their edges A belongs to A such that F of A is equal to B for B belongs to capital B. Then say that F is onto. So 1 1 onto, then it is a bijection. If that bijection exists, between A and B, then we say that there exists one-to-one correspondence between two sets A and B. Now we go for the next theorem. If H is a subgroup of group G, then there exists a one-to-one correspondence between any two left cosets of H in G. This is also apply for right cosets. Now let H and B a subgroup of group G. Let H be a subgroup of group G. Take two elements A and B in G and let H and HB are two left cosets of H in G. Now we define a map F maps AH to BH by F of AH is equal to BH inverse for all AH belongs to A capital H. Clearly, this map is well defined. To proving this map, a one-to-one correspondence means F is a bisection. Bisection is 1, 1 and onto. So, now we can prove this F is 1, 1 function. For 1, 1 function, take any two elements AH1 and AH2 in AH, where H1, H2 are the elements of capital H. Suppose we take F images of these two elements. F of AH1 is equal to F of AH2. Then what is the definition for this map? F of AH is equal to BH inverse. So F of AH1 is BH1 inverse is equal to BH2 inverse. This implies by left cancellation law, you can write H1 inverse is equal to H2 inverse. Take the inverse on both sides. Then H1 inverse whole inverse is nothing but H1. H2 whole inverse is H2. Therefore, what you taken, what you obtained, F of A H1 is equal to F of A H2. Then we got AH1 is equal to AH2. So that is nothing but the 1, 1 definition. So F is 1, 1. Now we go for onto. What is onto? There exists an element in AH such that F of that element is equal to some element in BH. Let Y belongs to BH and then Y is equal to B small h, where small h belongs to capital H. For this H, AH belongs to A capital H. By definition, F of AH is equal to BH. What is BH? BH is Y. So, therefore, for each Y belongs to BH, there exists AH belongs to A capital H such that F of H is equal to Y. Then F is onto. So F is 1, 1 and F is onto. Then we conclude that F is a bisection. F is a bisection. So F is bisection. What is the one-to-one correspondence between two cosets? We can adjust a bisection between these two. Therefore, already we proved AH to BH is a bisection. So there is this one-to-one correspondence between AH and BH. In a similar way, we can prove that the one-to-one correspondence between any two right cosets of H in G. Now, this is a very important theorem in a group theory is Lagrange's theorem for finite group. Lagrange's theorem for finite group. The order of a subgroup of a finite group divides the order of the group. Here, order means number of elements in a subgroup, number of elements in a group. Order of a subgroup means number of elements in a subgroup. Order of a group means number of elements in a group. Suppose any coset AH in G. Number of elements in a coset is same as number of elements in H. And if G has any k distinct cosets, then G can be expressed as union of all cosets. Using these two conditions, we are entering to the proof of this wonderful theorem, Lagrange's theorem for finite groups. Let H be a subgroup of finite group G. If H is equal to G, why? Because every group is a subgroup of itself. Therefore, then if H is equal to G, then order of H divides order of G is very clear. 2 divides 2 is very clear. Like that, order of H divides order of G. If these two are not equal, then let order of G is n, that is a finite, and order of H is equal to m. This is also finite. Now we know that the number of elements in subgroup is same as number of elements in cosets. So let H, HEA1, HEA2 and so on, HK minus 1 be k distinct cosets of H in G. So then G can be expressed as the union of all distinct k cosets. So already I explained you about the number of elements in coset is same as number of elements in H. So order of H is equal to order of HA1 is equal to order of HA2 is equal to and so on. Order of HAK means 1, that is M. And G can be expressed the union of all cosets. H union, HA1 union, HA2 union and so on union HAK minus 1. So what is the order of G? Order of H plus order of HA1 plus order of HA2 plus and so on order of HK minus 1. So this is N, this is M, this is M and so on plus M k times. So N is equal to Mk. So N can be expressed as multiples of M. So this we conclude that M divides N. What is M? Order of H. What is N? Order of G. So order of H divides order of G. Hence the order of a subgroup of finite group G divides the order of a group. So in this theorem we proved the order of a subgroup of a finite group divides the order of the group. Thank you. Dear students, thanks for watching my video lesson. Please give a like and give a comment on this and share this video lesson to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.